Okay, our future programs, Stu, do you want to?
Sure. Good morning, guys. Joe, just a comment on your statement about the CDC, the state. Spoke to my attorney yesterday. While the CDC has kind of opened up a lot of stuff for individuals, the state, the Department of Health has not, we're still under those guidelines. They have not changed yet. So everything you said is true, but our state has not changed anything yet.
Well, they changed the indoor meeting, no mask.
The state has not changed. All I'm saying is whatever the state law is still in effect. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I'm part of the condominium associations group, and there was a big meeting yesterday, 400 people, and they have a bunch of lawyers there, and that's right now we're still under that control. Anyway, meetings coming up, a lot of good ones, as you can see here. Next week, Stephen Wertheimer is going to talk to us about the birth of the global supremacy in the United States. That should be a pretty fascinating topic, probably things we haven't thought about. The following week is Stacy Backer from the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. She's going to talk to us about some new programs they're engaged in and educate us about the important work that hospital really does for children. It's really a great organization. The following week is Frank Batiste of the Stanford traffic, excuse me, he's a Stanford traffic engineer. He's going to talk about what's going on around the city. He's the guy who replaced, you might remember, Jim Travers, who was his predecessor. And as you know, Stanford's, I think it's, during the pandemic, there's been a lot of work done on the city streets. And I know from my own personal experience, traffic has greatly improved, certainly the lights. Following that, Dr. Michael Parry come back and talk to us about current status of COVID, but also other things about infectious diseases that will be of interest to everybody. So this will be the next 4 weeks. We're getting down near the end, only one more after that. So have a good day, everyone. And forgot about, if you guys would please get back to me about some kind of interesting topics, rather than maybe specific speakers, topics of interest that you think the group would like to hear about, let me know. Just whatever it is, just let me know the topic and we'll do some research. We had a little group meeting the other day, the program committee, and we would like you to do that for us. So please contact me. Also, we know there are a bunch of guys out there who had some very interesting occupations, of a lot of good skills in different areas, which will be of interest to everyone. So appreciate if some of you guys would just step up and talk to us about what you did, and maybe talk to us about whatever that industry is. And lastly, if you attend a presentation or a lecture, or you go to the library and you hear an interesting speaker, let us know about that. We'll contact them, but that would be a good lead if you guys come across something of that nature. So thank you very much, and continue the meeting, Joe.
All right, thanks, Stu. Next up is our Secretary, Ira.
Good morning. Everybody has received last week's minutes, I presume. We had an attendance of 60 online. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Therefore, hearing none, back to you, Joe.
Thanks, Ira. And I haven't heard any, so the minutes are approved as presented. Next up is Larry.
Steve, if you can move to the next slide. I'm still on Stu's slide. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm having some problems on my screen.
Look, Joe, right now you should be looking at the future 9:20 a.m. groups.
Yeah, it's not coming up on my screen. So
really,
is it on everybody else's?
Yes, I see.
Yes.
Well, you'll have to wing it, Larry.
Yeah. Okay.
We have your slide up.
You want me to read them off for you, Larry?
If you would, kind enough.
Okay.
And
on May
the rest
20th,
of the slides I could tell.
Yeah, on May 27th, Joe D. on current events. June 3rd, Art Feldman on the transformation of America. Is it good or bad? Or are we transforming? June 10th, Bob Bucky on technology. And on June 17th, Joe D. on investing.
Okay,
Next slide is about the Tai Chi.
okay. Carl, would you like to speak about the Tai Chi, please?
Yeah, sure. The Tai Chi program is going strong. We've had a great participation this week. We have one more session in May, and then because of Memorial Day, we'll skip that Monday. And next week, our last session in May, I'll ask the participants who's interested in doing it again in June. But as long as everybody's interested, we're going to proceed in it, and it seems like it's getting a good response. So thanks, and have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, just can I add something for someone who can't do the whole time, both my wife and myself. Don't feel that you have to participate for the whole hour. If you're limited physically, even if you do a half hour out of the hour in spurts, you still get some great benefits out of it. Being out there in the fresh air, moving around, it's really wonderful. And like I said, get up, I sit down and rest my back a while and then get back up. It's really great. So guys, come out and participate. It'll do you a world of good rather than sitting around thinking about something. Next slide is Alan Krim, trips and tours.
Okay, I've got this. I've got the slides back.
Okay, great. It's all yours, Larry.
Alan, Bridgewater.
Your voice is out though.
You're breaking up, Larry.
Good morning, all. This is Alan. We were very fortunate to have excellent weather yesterday for our 3.5 mile walk across the bridge, also known as Tappan Zee. This picture is one that was taken as we approached the Rockland end of the bridge, near the end of the walk, looking back towards Westchester. It turns out that the 42-story tall towers that hold up the bridge, which you see, from Westchester, and as you drive across the bridge, they turn out to be less than a third of the way across from Westchester. So, apparently that's where the deepest part of the river is, and so they're relatively close to Tarrytown. Going back to that picture again that I was just talking about, the first one, yeah, I just wanted to point out that along on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see the path that is used to walk across the bridge that is shared by walkers and bikers, and so a very safe and a very effective way of getting across. The next slide is showing one of the 6 stopping points along the bridge for walkers. Larry being pictured on the left-hand side. There are these 6 locations for viewing and for resting. On the right-hand side of this slide is a pier that was built at the time that the bridge went up that you mostly wouldn't notice unless you were walking across. And it's a very extensive build out, and it's where they apparently used to maintain the waterside part of the bridge. They've got locations there for 4 or 5 boats. They've got boat lifts, derricks. It's it's quite an extensive maintenance facility. And finally, if you turn to the final slide, this is our typical group portrait of those that joined us. We had 15 participants, and this is almost the whole group except for Ruth Moy, the gal that took the picture of the group. Most of the group did the 4-mile walk from Westchester over to Rockland, but there were 5 quasi-athletes who elected to walk all the way back, bringing their mileage total to over 8 miles. And I'll cite them. They were Carl Funch, David Kaplan, Susan and Larry Holtzman, and my wife, Carol. And I trust they're all well recovered from that effort. Any final comment that any of the participants or otherwise want to mention?
I'll just say, Alan, it really was a fantastic and lovely day. And the restaurants that Alan picked out were just phenomenal. So looks like we're going to be going back to Nyack many times, although probably not walking.
No, but it is something that individually, any of you folks that are online, if you wanted to tackle it on your own or as a couple, it's manageable. Heading over there and then taking a taxi, or there's even a bus that could bring you back. So thank you.
Okay, I'm glad to see that we had a nice participation on a really, other than the recurring activities, a special activity. So Alan, thank you for organizing, that, and the previous one, which was the Woodlawn Cemetery. So it seems that we are getting back to some degree of normalcy and participation. So I'm looking forward to seeing more people participate as we go along. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Walk in Cove Island, I guess Carl is the
Yeah, he didn't ask me to take over for that, but
Yeah.
I think the slide says it all.
yeah.
Next one is May 26th in Cove Island Park.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Larry,
Are you trying to say something?
your audio is breaking up, Larry.
You should log out and log back in.
You've done that 5 times.
Oh,
I'm going to mute you.
Larry's on twice. That's the problem.
Steve can.
There's 2 Larry Holtzmans.
Host, yeah, the host should kick him off, both of them.
I only see one right now.
Yeah, and
Well,
he looks like he's half frozen in the picture.
I guess we'll ask either Joe Mitel or Larry Berger to talk about the tennis.
Yeah. Joe, Larry, Berger.
Yeah. My times already.
Okay. All right.
Am I on now? Okay,
Yeah,
can you hear now?
we can hear you, Larry.
Okay, can you,
No, you're
Joe,
breaking up
are
again.
you there?
You're breaking up again.
Okay, sorry. Is Joe Mattel on?
Neither one is on.
Okay, basically, there's not enough, if there's not enough to be a tournament, they will have a hit around with people, so just let them know that you're coming. Next slide. My slides aren't moving for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yeah, you got,
But I presume it's the golf, so.
no, it's the annual
No.
fishing trip.
Oh,
Captain Kevin promises good fishing on any Wednesday in June. The date will be chosen by what is most preferred by the responding SMAS fishermen. The fee is going to be $60 and checks made out to Captain Kevin Reynolds. We'll meet at dockside, the latest at 1:15 p.m. and the sailing is at 2 p.m. The return is approximately 6:30 to 7, so it's going to be about a 4.5, 5 hour excursion. So get in touch with Bill McGurr. The phone number there is 203-912-4058 or email him at goldcoastbill@hotmail.com. I believe there was a mass email that went out to everybody last week. Am I right on that, Steve?
I don't remember if I did it by itself or with the reminders. It's in there.
Yeah,
A
so
couple times.
please contact Bill. I know everybody that went previously. If you look at the next slide from a few years back, some people did catch fish. And so that proves it was a fishing trip.
And please respond to Bill. Some people have a tendency to just reply to the email, which goes to me, and then I have to forward it on anyhow. So
yeah, Bill is in charge, so he would appreciate people contacting him. And I will mention to him that he should contact all the previous people directly.
Thank
Okay.
you, Larry.
We now
You're
have the
back
golf.
normal now, it seems. You see
No,
the spring
I
golf?
still don't have slides yet. I'm still stuck
Yeah,
on the
okay.
tennis.
Okay, the next slide is the spring golf tournament.
Is Brian?
Okay, I let Brian speak to that.
All right, I just want everyone to know that I did send out the first email blast last week on golf. If anyone didn't get it and is interested in playing golf, just let Howie or myself know. So far, there have been about 12 responses and we're hoping to get 24 to 28 people. Howie, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I noticed that very few golfers are on today's meeting. So we're gonna have to say, keep on top of the people. Brian, if you get me a list of all the old people, I will start making phone calls soon because we want to get them out there. Because we can't keep going to Sterling and asking for a special favor of a shotgun start and booking the times for us if we don't get a good participation. So I'm hoping that we'll get more people. Thank you.
Okay, I presume the next slide is for the luncheon.
Yes, it is,
Yep.
Larry.
Okay, the menu's posted. All the provisions are indicated. We have so far 93 people who have signed up and paid. Again, I would love to get it to 100 people at least. And if you could just talk it up, I only see 41 participants on today's meeting. If those of you who are on, I encourage you to come if you feel comfortable. It should be a great time to get to see your fellow members and their spouses or significant others, and talk it up among other members of the club who are not so often on the Zoom calls. So again, it's 93 are in. I'd like to get it to 100. So that's pretty much it. You know what the choices of food are: steak, salmon, or chicken, and looking forward to a great day.
Thank you.
Next slide, I presume, is the picnic for Stu. And
Yes, it is.
Stu, if you would talk to it, I'd appreciate it.
I think I'll talk to it. Thank you. As you can see, we've been advertising September 23rd. All the logistics are all set. $25 a person. We'll be following whatever the rules are in place. Committee met and we've decided pretty much to do a program that we have done before. We will continue to do the raffle, but just a few good items, not a bunch of little items. So that should be a lot of fun. Continue to do the silent auction. We're going to begin to going out to restaurants now and asking them to donate coupons to be at our silent auction. We'll do a couple outdoor games for the guys and the guests. As always, George will provide great food and the mayor will be there. And I think most importantly, since it'll be the first time we can actually all get together, hopefully for a large turnout, great conversation, lots of camaraderie. So June 3rd, we'll start to collect registration and the fee. And hopefully we get a very, very large turnout for this, since I'm sure all health benefits will be put aside, the requirements. So see you all then.
Okay,
Joe?
next slide. Membership. Our total members are 213, 51 life and 162 regular members. So far this year, we've gotten 5 new members, and that's good considering that the first half of the year was still pandemic related, let's say, and now that we're moving into new activities or real live activities again, speak it up with your friends and ask them to join us at a Zoom meeting and see if they want to, come. It doesn't, it's easy enough for them to pop on. You just send them to pass on the invitation or pass it to Carl and Steve. They'll send the invitations out, but you can forward the invitation to your friends and get them to join. The lifeblood of any organization, guys, is bringing in new members, and we're no different. So at this time, are there any guests or visitors? Please, unmute yourself and introduce yourself if you're a guest or a visitor. Okay. Hearing none, move on to fellowship. Dave, you want to take over?
Sure, thanks, Joe. Well, as always, let's talk about news to share. Good news first. Who has something to share with us? Weddings, anniversaries, trips?
Dave, I do. Ron Rixton here.
Yeah, Ron, go ahead.
My 2 grandsons graduated college. The first one was Dylan up in Providence, Rhode Island at Johnson & Wales with an engineering degree. And we attended, that was virtual. We also attended my grandson Hayden's graduation at Coastal Carolina down in South Carolina. And we spent a week down there and enjoyed live his graduation as well. Good time.
That's awesome.
This is Joe D, and I have some news on Earl King.
Yeah, go ahead.
The good news is he's getting out of the hospital tomorrow, and he would like phone calls at his home starting next week, perhaps on Monday. The background is that several weeks ago, perhaps roughly 3 weeks ago, he was in the garden, stood up, fell over, broke a rib, and the rib nicked a lung, and which was bleeding. So he ended up spending at least 2 weeks in the hospital. But it comes to an end tomorrow when they'll be releasing him, and he's looking forward to hearing from us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joe. And just to reiterate what Joe said, I've spoken to Earl's wife, and she said that definitely Earl would appreciate any and all calls. So let's do that. Anybody else?
Yes.
Go
Howie
ahead,
Brown.
Howie.
Two things. Number one, my oldest grandson will be graduating high school next week. We are going to attend. He'll be attending the University of Oklahoma. My second oldest granddaughter is graduating from a very interesting school. She has got a bachelor degree in global business from a business school. It's her first year was in Nice, France. The second year was at UCLA. The third year was at Singapore, University of Singapore. This is a global business degree, and so far she's had to have 2 6-month internships. The first one was with a French company that ran various events in New York City. And she is now interning at Moderna, which is a very good place to be at this time of year. So she's graduated, and we're very proud of her.
Well, you should be, Howie. So where is this program managed from? I mean, did she apply? Is it a US based?
It's managed from France. My one side of my family is French American citizenship. The father was French. My daughter is American, and everyone has dual citizenships.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Well, let's go to the next slide, please, Steve. So we'd mentioned last week that Stanford is going ahead with Memorial Day Parade on May 30th. I wanted to share just a bit more detail. The parade is actually going to start at 11:30. It's going to proceed from Latham Park, south on Bedford Street, across Broad Street, onto Atlantic, and finish at Veterans Memorial Park. At 12 o'clock, there will be a short ceremony to commemorate the service of those veterans who gave their lives for our country. And Steve Fisher has arranged for a live stream of both the for the ceremony. And so I really would urge all of us to tune in if we can't be downtown to help support this effort on behalf of the city of Stamford for the families of those who have been lost. Steve, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, we will hopefully, if the engraver finishes in time, be dedicating a monument to Gold Star families. For those that don't know, Gold Star families have someone in their family who was killed while serving in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be unveiling a monument to them.
Yeah, and Steve, in conjunction with the Veterans Park organization, has been instrumental in helping to identify Gold Star individuals. So thanks for all that effort, Steve. Anything else? Okay, well, that'll do it for fellowship, Joe. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, and of course, if you go back, those members who have not been able to attend, I've spoken to each of these in the last few days, and they do appreciate the phone calls. Let's keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for all that you're doing on behalf of our members and activities. Just want to mention Dave has been helping Debbie Sofair, who has been our contact and liaison with the First Presbyterian Church, will be leaving at the end of this month and moving up to Cape Cod with her husband. So we're going to wish Debbie all the best in her future up at the Cape. And Dick Harper.
Good morning, everybody. The next book on the docket is on the slide there, June 23rd. This is about Frederick Law Olmsted, who created Central Park in the 1850s. traveling through the South and observing. So it's kind of a travel log, but also it gives you a unique view of a Yankee looking at the South before we had this great Civil War. So that's on the 23rd at 1:30. And then I'm suggesting 2 dates for the fall. The first would be September 15th at 1:30, and then October 20th at 1:30. And the book that seems to have some support for the September 15th meeting is Cast by Isabel Wilkerson, which has been on the bestseller list. We haven't confirmed that for sure, but it looks like that's what will be confirmed. And any other suggestions people have to add to our list, I'm open to it at the
All right, why don't you get them
email
up,
right there. Thank you.
get them up on the next slide, next week's slide, so that can plan on that. Okay, any items up for discussion that anybody brought up during the meeting? Please raise your virtual blue hand. If you have any items for discuss, you want to discuss? Any questions? Any jokes?
Joe, this is Bob Rosenthal. I had a comment, not a joke. For the interesting aspect of for the people who went on the tour last year of the Wall Street Journal, New York Post printing plant, we see the demise of print newspapers, and now the Dow Jones Company has closed that plant entirely, and they are actually renting time from the New York Times, which both papers have seen their print circulation drop so low that there's enough time in Queens to print all three papers every day, the New York Times, the New York Post, and the Wall Street Journal. So just an interesting sign of the times.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, this is Steve. As we open up our indoor activities, this is a new competition that we are planning. As soon as we can get it straightened out, I'll let you have more details on it.
Yeah, well, you got one thing you got to do is we all got to revert back to 16 years old.
I thought we all were.
Okay. So there was no jokes coming up. All right. Mark, welcome.